Wow, what a day. What a trading day here on a Wednesday. Didn't expect it, but we've had some amazing movements on NQ today. So sorry for the outfit. I'm in my usual trading outfit here in the office. And wow, just look at that. 21K across all the accounts that I trade with. As you guys know, I'm using TradeSync. There's a video coming out on that. But basically trading around 30 fund accounts with different prop firms on the future side. And yeah, 21K, pretty amazing. Right after requesting some payouts this week, so got payouts and basically made some of the profits back. This can be verified with the QR code. Just want to show proof as always that I am transparent and this actually works. So let's get into the charts because it has been a very mixed one. Right, so here on the NQ chart, we had quite a lot of movement. It may look all confusing right now with all the lines, but I'm gonna go ahead and explain every single bit. So I started my bias bullish today on NQ actually, and the reason I started with the bullish bias was because, well, obviously yesterday and the days prior we had pretty much bullish price action. Now looking at the weekly, right, we had the weekly bullish close. This weekly was coming down. And I was kind of expecting price to rebound back to the upside. We had a push here to the 26,000 level. We swept the high. We came down. We had a bearish close. And this daily candle was coming down. So I was like, I think this daily candle can actually flip and continue to push bullish. Coming down the 4-hour time frame, I have here a very nice A+ setup that I like to take a lot of times, where we have the break of structure. I draw the fib from the low towards the high. And I like to look for entries at the 070786. We had a 4-hour bullish bearish close in that area, so I wanted to start looking for buys. For that, because it was pre-New York, I wanted some confirmation. So after seeing this 1 hour sweep the lows and close bullish, I was like, I think this may actually push to the upside. So let me get involved into some buys. And that is where my first position came in. So if we look on the 50-minute, right, this 50-minute nice liquidity sweep, bullish close, breaking structure to the upside. Coming down the 5-minute, we can clearly see my A+ setup where we have a liquidity sweep, V-shape with a break of structure, and then retest at a flip zone to continue higher. That is like one of the best setups that I trade on the Forex and also on the futures market. So that was pretty obvious for me to go long. So I did enter buys here, and stop loss was around this low right there because that was my invalidation point. If price comes back here and closes, it's gonna dump, right? And that is very important. I also told my Discord that we were live on the call and discussing the markets. We also entered this shitty Euro USD trade that barely moves. So we took a win here, 2 hour, then I lost 1 hour here, and we entered another setup on the 4-hour time frame, which, still looks quite alright. But anyways, that is not the point. The point is that I was talking with them and my students, and I said, like, this is the invalidation point. If price closes below this low, it's gonna drop, because if we look on the daily time frame, look at all the liquidity here. We have one daily low, right? Another daily low here, another daily low here, another daily low here. Huge liquidity to be swept. And that's exactly what price did. And that is important to know because that's how I based my next trading ideas on. So right here, right, initially I entered with my full size, full risk. But then once I saw price kind of struggling to go a little bit higher here, I basically descaled from my position. So I entered around, I think it was around this point here, right? It was a little bit early. As you can see, time was like 7 a.m. EST, so a bit early, 1 hour and a half before the market opened, but I still liked the setup. So once price came here and it started to break above, I basically closed half of my position. I did that because I knew there was a possibility that price will literally drop. There was some fundamental news coming in, PPI, and also Supreme Court rulings on Trump's tariffs. So knowing that, I knew that price can actually drop a little bit before potentially pushing again higher. So I descaled there, half my risk, and we can see this wick came down, tap this 1 minute order block and then reject it. And at this point I was like, all right, this actually looks like a good setup. But I was very cautious of the previous daily low. So this is the previous daily low. And I know that once price breaks, it usually retests that, and if it rejects, it's gonna go lower. So unfortunately, this happened too fast. This was with PPI news, and I couldn't secure profits or go break even. And before I knew it, price was back into drawdown. At this point, price came to the 5 minute fib right here, fib retracement, into the 0.6207. So it was still valid, right? Structure was still pointing a little bit bullish at this point. So I kept the trade running. And this was where I kind of knew price was most likely gonna drop, because we started to push higher here and then started to reject heavily and came down. But it was already halfway through my stop loss, so there was no point in actually closing the trade. And basically got hit with a stop loss here once price dropped with market open, and then it immediately came back into profit, technically. And here is an important lesson for you guys. I know most of you, after seeing this 5 minute candle, right, sweeping the lows, closing bullish, most people will actually go long here because they think price will go higher. But I decided to wait a little bit because I just got stopped out of this position. And again, most traders, they will get angry about getting swept here and price returning back into their profit. So they will re-enter the same trade and basically lose again. But what I did was I waited, right? So once I saw this reversal here, 1 minute V-shape with a break of structure, I waited for price to pull back and give me some confirmation. At this point, price came all the way down here to fill the fair value gap, and this created like an inverse fair value gap right there, right? Because it closed a little bit below it. So I kind of was a little bit more biased towards sells. So that is when I saw price rejecting, closing below this level again, rejecting once again, and that is where I executed my sell. Execute my sell, placed like a 40-point stop loss, because these weeks were going to get respected if we were going to have a big move to the downside, and look at that amazing drop. So that was like 80 points in 5 minutes, and I closed fully for 2R. I liked my target for 2R because it was sitting right at those two daily lows, right in between them. And I knew that once it sweeps one low, it's most likely going to head for the other. So that was a perfect take profit set by me. Fully closed at 2R, had a small retracement, and then price continued down. Now at this point, I was pretty happy because I lost basically, I lost half my usual risk, and then I made 2R on my usual risk, right? So I was already up like quite nicely. But I kept watching the markets, wanted to make a little bit more extra because I like the volatility. I like this setup to go down. I unfortunately missed it. So I waited. And what did price do? Well, price came to sweep more daily lows. And you can see how now it's sweeping the last daily low. If we go back on the daily time frame, we can see, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And it swept every single one of them. Why? Because that's where liquidity lies. That's where price is going to head to. So obviously, after taking any major liquidity point, if I do see signs of reversals, and NQ usually does that very fast, where it takes liquidity and then just immediately rebounds, I saw that price here on the 5 minute closed bullish, right? Just above that daily low that it was taken. There was a possibility for price to go lower, as we can see right now, but I like the reversal. So I did like a quarter of my risk just to take another trade here for a quick 1-to-1, stop loss at the lows, waited for the 5 minute to close bullish, next 5 minute to wick down, enter the trade, and I basically hit take profit within the next 1 minute candle, which was pretty insane. Like a 50-point move in 1 minute is pretty insane. It did go higher to retest the same level that it broke, and we can see it gave another short setup. But 3 trades in, I usually just trade a max of 2 trades, but I was up quite nice on this sell that I took as an A+ setup. I like the reversal, risk a little bit on that to make a little bit more, and basically close my day, as you guys saw, on 21K across all the 30 accounts, something like that. You can see here on the right, my top step 150Ks are up like 1.4K. And yeah, that's pretty nice. Now obviously price did continue lower, 5 minute failed to go higher here, broke back down, and now we can see price is dropping and most likely heading for the next liquidity target at the low of 25,400. But yeah, pretty happy with the trading day so far. I believe those were all good trades. This was a nice setup for me, higher time frame setup to continue higher. You can see I was not married to the bias, which is why I wanted to make this video, this breakdown, because it's very important to not get married to the bias, right? Trade what you see. So I wasn't married to my bullish bias. I didn't try to re-enter bias again here, right? What I did instead, I flipped my bias because we broke structure, we broke the level, took the trade to the next level, waited, saw signs of reversals, took a quick reversal, and then done for the day. Otherwise, I would have taken the sell setup back down right there. But I was done for the day, so I didn't really care about it too much. So yeah, that is the day done for me. Probably not gonna trade this week anymore. Made my profit target, so tomorrow and Friday we may see price ranging quite a lot, so not really interested in that. But overall, amazing day of price action, very important lessons. That is why I made this video, to show you guys the lessons exactly and how I manage every single position, and hope this was of value of you. See you guys in the next one.